Hey everybody, little bit different, little bit different. Excuse me, I just don't feel comfortable. I've changed my location, I've changed my position. So yeah, good evening. My name is Natural Mystic, and I created a group called Bouncing Back. And here I am streaming to my YouTube page. So I'm just having a look because I've never done this way before. So this is all new territory for me. So yes, forgive me for looking a little bit discombobulated. As I said, this is a new location. So I'm just having a look on my phone as I turn the volume down so nobody can hear it now. And I am actually live. Oh my gosh, wow. This is interesting, very interesting. So yes, I am here celebrating Father's Day today. This is my little tribute to my dad. So I'm just going to share this to my Facebook page. See if we can get some people on my live stream into my little room. And I don't normally do this here. So thank you for having me. Thank you for joining my channel. For those of you who have liked and subscribed and followed and shared. So yeah, let me just, okay, so there we go. We've shared it to the newsfeed. Hi, so my name is Natural Mystic, and like I said, I created this channel called Natural Mystic is Bouncing Back. And I created this channel purely because I was going through some stuff in my life, and I thought I needed a way to kind of document it all. And yeah, just keep a catalogue, bit of a vlog of my life. So I have a Facebook channel or a Facebook profile as well, and I also subscribe and have YouTube, as you can tell, Instagram, Snapchat. So yeah, do like my socials, and I'm just figuring out where my camera is, so forgive me if I'm kind of looking all over the place at the moment. So it's probably better if I keep it like that. It's a lot better in the middle. So thank you for joining me. So this is my tribute to Father's Day, and it's been a little bit of a strange day. It started off really well, admittedly. Okay, I've slept in late, as I do on a Sunday occasionally. Sort of, yeah, late for me is anything past 10 o'clock. I'm normally up at like 5:30, 6:30 in the morning, 7, you know, I mean, them sort of times days, like to capture the most of daylight hours and do everything that I can to sort of, you know, have a productive day, basically. So for the last few weeks, my dad's been calling me, and we've had some turbulent conversations, some real heated discussions. And I think it's because we don't really know each other as adults. He remembers me as a child. That's how he's always going to remember me. I've been through a lot. Our relationship has actually been quite distant over the last 20 years or so, and he's slowly getting to know who I've grown into, the woman I've, you know, turned out to be, perhaps. And vice versa, I'm also learning about him outside of being a dad or a father. I'm sort of learning about him, the man, the person. And it's been an interesting, like I said, turbulent kind of conversation, to be honest with you. We don't really see each other very often anymore, but it's something that we can work up to, I suppose, at some point. So I wanted to say thank you to him, first of all, because I wouldn't be able to do this recording without him. I wouldn't be able to capture these moments. So I'm really appreciative of the time that we have spent together, the moments we are sharing together still, and the fact that he's actually alive, because a lot of people, you know, don't have their father or don't have their parents around, full stop. So yes, I just wanted to sort of have some gratitude and show gratitude and express gratitude for the fact that he is a part of my life and I know who he is. So that's where I'd like to start. So he phoned me this morning, just saying that he wanted to hear my voice, like I said, and it was nice that he was comfortable and confident enough to pick up the phone and speak to me. I'm not sure what relationship he has with his other children, really. I know the type of relationship that I want with him. So that's kind of why I choose to interact and conversate with him on occasion. I can choose to not pick up the phone, but I feel that that would be kind of a bit of a kick in the teeth, regardless of what me and him have been through. The fact that he's alive and he's decided to pick up the phone, I think that I should just be thankful, you know what I mean, to a certain extent, even if it's for him to have a go, to shout at me or whatever it is. Let him have his moment in it. He's alive, and I'm sure I'd feel worse if he never made those phone calls, if he wasn't alive to actually for me to be able to receive calls like that, regardless whether they're good or bad. So for the last few years, I've been doing this Sunday live recording or live stream, and I've mainly been doing it from my Facebook profile. And I've decided that I'd like to start using my YouTube channel a little bit more. So hence why I'm doing it here this evening. So, you know, I grew up with my dad, a little bit of a background, a little bit of a story, you know what I mean? So I did grow up with him. I fully knew who he was. Him and my mum were together. We lived in the same house predominantly, and he had another family. It's not like they were hidden. So I've got an older brother and an older sister, and he did his best to kind of grow us up as one. Okay, we have his surname, which is nice, so we can all at least acknowledge, you know, that we are from the same father, you know, in that respect. He had children quite young, in his late teens, and when he first started to have his first child, basically. And I feel like he's kind of had to kind of grab on or hang on to life. He had to get, you know, face responsibilities a lot earlier than most, and he didn't really, I don't feel like, you know, as I've sort of looked back over it, he wasn't really comfortable with that, basically. He still wanted to go out and party and rave and drink and smoke and do all the things that maybe younger men want to do. So it was weird, I suppose, just like any other household. I don't want to, you know, presume, but I'm assuming that men just want to be men in it and do what it is that they want to do, regardless whether they've got a family or not. They need that time to themselves, so I appreciate it. One thing about me is that I don't like the term soon come, you know, that term there, because my dad used to use that a lot, and I never knew whether that meant an hour or a day or a week or a month or a year. You know, if I look at it on the real, like that soon come, it was very difficult growing up with that. So I would have preferred if he was if he was able to be more honest, you know, in regards to his time scales. Basically, I've got a big thing about time as I've grown up as an adult, especially like going out and meeting people. You know, like if you're going to be late, tell me. If you're not going to turn up, you know, try and give me some notice, because I've grown up with maybe that sort of an abandonment kind of issue, maybe. And you know, my mum was always there. Don't get it twisted, but there were times that I actually wanted my dad to be around, and he wasn't always there when I wanted. So yeah, I've got a few issues there. And I'll be honest, it's affected relationships for me with men going forward, not having that kind of stability growing up, that insecurity, whether men will just come and go as they feel like it because it's learned behavior. It's kind of what my dad showed me, that's what men do. It was my only male role model growing up, really. You know, didn't really have uncles or elder cousins around who could sort of show me anything any different. I didn't even really have any other male family members that kind of stuck out their marriage or their relationship. So I've only really had, you know, what I've seen in my own life experience to go by. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of do this recording for him and capture this moment, really, you know, not to bash him, not to put him down, but just to acknowledge him, you know, and remembering all the things that he said, you know, all the little, you know, those one-liners, those gems that I find myself repeating. I hear his voice in my head occasionally when I'm saying stuff, and I just have to chuckle. And, you know, all growing up, I must admit, you know, albeit the relationship that he had with my mum wasn't what my mum wanted or what he wanted, it wasn't the best for either of them. You know, let's keep it real. They did what they could to keep the family unit together. But when it became unhealthy and when it became untoxic, you know, toxic, I do think that it was best that for their sanity, for their health and for their hearts and that sort of thing, for the rest of their lives, they technically didn't really need to be together. It didn't mean that he wasn't my dad anymore. It didn't mean that my mum loved me any less in that way. So no, I definitely, I'm comfortable with the fact that they're not together anymore, but I would like for both of them to find some sort of happiness outside of their relationships, really. You know, self-love, they both know, and they've been practicing for a while, which is good. And on the back of this, I just want to kind of speak to some of the women. Now, I don't have children. I'm unable to have children. I'm beyond having children. Let's just put it that way. I know I don't look that old, but that's just the way that it is. And I've accepted that. I've come to terms with that. I'm not bitter about it. But while I was personally trying to have children, I really contemplated who I was trying with. It wasn't a rash decision that I wanted to make. And that's what I've seen. Like, a cousin of mine did a Facebook Live today, and where he was talking about let's celebrate fathers, and I'm in total agreement. And he was saying that, like, today is not for single mums. And again, I'm in total agreement. Some people can be like, how dare she? She hasn't even got children, so what does she know? No, I'm actually looking at it quite objectively from a complete outside opinion. I'm not a parent, full stop. I'm not speaking as a woman. I am a woman, but I'm not speaking from a female perspective, should we say. And I truly believe that we make choices, rightly or wrongly. We learn from those choices. And there are people, both men and women, who have had children with people that they probably look back and go, I wish I didn't have children with you, because I don't like you as an individual anymore. I don't want that connection to you anymore. But a child is now involved. So therefore, I'm sorry, but both parties, both parents, man and woman, have to put ego aside and actually just focus and concentrate on nurturing and raising the child, and have to learn to coexist. It doesn't mean they have to be in the same place. It doesn't mean they have to do it, just do it without all the animosity. I would say if the father of your child or if the mother of your child is abusive, is neglectful, is just not being an adult, for want of a better word, I don't think anybody should allow their child to be around that parent. If they're, paedophiliac tendencies or, real harmful, heinous abuse, then, even children who are a product of rape, I've really had to sit and consider how those people feel, how those women feel, and what do they then tell their child? Because I don't want to bash men and I don't want to bash women, not by any means, but I think the message that we give to our children is really important, and the message that I received from my parents was really important, especially when their relationship was breaking down. At no point did my mum ever say anything derogatory about my dad and his behavior, because it was visible, it was apparent. We could see that it wasn't very nice, the way he spoke to us and the things he did, but she never ever tried to keep us away from him. She encouraged contact more than anything, encouraged communication, regardless of how she felt. Because, just because she felt like she'd made a poor decision in regard to a relationship, it didn't mean that that decision had to sit with her children as well. She wasn't going to pass that feeling on to us. So I've got total respect for women, and especially my mum, who go through stuff but are still able to look beyond their own experiences and go, no, these children or this child deserves a relationship with their dad, and the man in this relationship deserves a relationship with his children. My mum could trust me around my dad, and my dad can trust me around my mum, those sorts of things. It was never a thing where there was a problem where he would do anything to us or he would try to harm us in any way. So that's where I think that that's the only way in which children should be kept away from a parent or from any adult is someone who is actually going to harm them or cause them harm or put them in a dangerous situation. So that's why I said this is not about bashing. This is not about men are better than women. This is a day that all of us just need to kind of remember, regardless of the man or the dad, that he is as a person, his characteristics, his personality. Just be grateful. Just be thankful is what it is that I say. That we're here, that he contributed to us being here. We're celebrating life after all. I'm celebrating my life. And it just happens to be the day that I can sit back and listen to the music that he used to listen to and laugh at some of the stuff that we used to do and remember him. Get him a favourite bottle of his old school aftershave or whatever it is, go and sit and talk about cricket, for example, or stock car racing, which is all the stuff that we used to do. You know, my love of cars, my love of music, my love of clothes, that didn't come from my mum. That came from my dad. So how could I bash him? How could I you know, just because he's not the father I wanted, you know, solely 100%, you know, I've not been the daughter he's wanted. It goes two ways to maintain this relationship, to nurture and love relationships, not just with dads, but with any man, with anybody in that respect, you know. So, but especially if you want to maintain a relationship with your dad, it's going to take some work. It's going to take a little bit of work. You know, I've noticed that he's not the best at conversating. He says stuff, but sometimes the way he says it isn't always the way he means it, perhaps. You know, his vocabulary is not limited, but he sometimes, you know, saying the nice stuff doesn't always come out sounding nice because he's a man. It sounds badly, you know, a little bit. Not get over it, but toughen up, tough love. And I do get it. I've not always wanted it or appreciated it. Admittedly, I haven't. There are times I've just wanted a daddy hug, you know, a little bit of a pat on the back and say, there, never mind. You know, the world is a cruel place kind of thing, you know. Maybe I've not taught you as well as I could have done as to how to handle relationships or how to speak to men. You know, I've been single more or less for 8 years, kind of seeing people on and off here or there, looking back at my you know, my relationships that I've been through and that, and I've just realized that, yeah, I could have had a little bit more help in the fatherly area as to why your relationships went wrong, Dad, and what can I do to potentially prevent my relationships going wrong in the future, innit? But again, I have to think of the man that I was in the relationship with and what his household was like. And did he have a male role model around or a father, you know, to kind of guide him on how to look after women or how to be in a relationship with a woman and how to live with, you know, do you see what I'm saying? So dads and fathers, you are very, very important. Sometimes you're made to feel worthless, forgotten about, not loved, neglected, you know, told not to cry, told not to show your feelings, you know, put your big pants on, you know, you wear the trousers and you're kind of asked to have this demeanor about you. And we don't mean to, as women, we don't mean to do that. It's because I feel like I need to be strong and pull my pants up and be strong. Then I've got you to lean on, innit? But I have to remember that you also would like to be able to lean on us and feel nurtured, feel protected, feel stable, feel secure, and have your moments of vulnerability where you're not going to be attacked. You're just going to be allowed. You're just going to be accepted. You're just going to be loved. So happy Father's Day. I hope those of you who managed to spend time with your children made it the best day possible for yourself and for your children to remember. I hope you got some lovely gifts. And I think that the biggest gift of all is your children, but I hope that outside of that, you've got some lovely gifts. So please, one and all, for those of you who can relate, for those of you who have enjoyed my brief conversation, up for discussion, you know, sharing my thoughts and my feelings, and my experiences. And if you think that you'd like to see more, please, like I said at the beginning, like this video, subscribe to my channel, tinkle the little bell so you get a notification, and share. Sharing is caring. And I'd really like to try and get to 100 subscribers. Doesn't sound a lot, does it? It isn't really. But I set myself small goals, achievable goals, and with your help, I'll be able to feel successful, should I say. A small amount of proud moments and victory is what it is that we all like. So keep me going as well a little bit as to do more of these. I generally post quite frequently, unfortunately, maybe once or twice a month, just because I don't really get much feedback on here. So I'm not sure if what you'd like to see, what you'd like to know. So maybe a Q&A. So yeah, that's probably what is going to be needed next. A bit of a Q&A. So you guys can invade my thoughts and invade my private moments and invade my life. But it would be welcomed to be able to share with you all. So thank you very much for those of you who have taken the time to spend your 20 minutes of energy with me. And I hope I gave you something rewarding, something valuable, a little bit of me. And enjoy the rest of your day, dads. Much love. Take care. Peace, love, blessings, prosperity, blissful love and light abundantly. Rastafari.